Hello,
Hello, everyone.
welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the 10th anniversary of Megaforce.
Yay.
And obviously Super Megaforce, being connected as a connected season. We For me, I find it a very divisive season. I do love it in spite of itself.
Go, Pirate Rangers.
They're not pirates. Don't be pirates, kids. Stay in school. Stay in school. Don't be a pirate. Pirates are not cool. I think that was part of the issue why they couldn't actually say that they were pirates or have it as a pirate theme, even though that's blatantly what it is.
Bad. Pirates are bad.
Pirates are bad. Don't do piracy, kids. Stay in school. And get good jobs.
Yes.
Um,
Hip to be square.
yeah, no, it's hip to be square. People Google that reference, I'm not going to explain what that is. So yeah, with Megaforce, it was an odd first season anyway. Troy, personally, I didn't hate him. I didn't like him either. How did you feel about the whole thing?
I'm a model, and I can't really... I'm a model. That's all I'm going to say, because...
Okay.
Yeah.
To Andrew's defense,
Pretty boy.
he's a, what they call an MTA, which is a model turned actor. Sometimes that can be successful. There are lots of
Paris Hilton.
No, Paris Hilton's not an MTA. Oh, jeez, you fool. No, there are. I'm trying to think of him. Oh, Rebecca Romaine was a model, and she became an actress.
Oh,
yeah. Obviously, X-Men movies, you'll know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're talking about Megaforce.
Power Rangers,
yay! So this was the 20th season, so like an anniversary season. They took from two different Japanese source shows to do season 1 and season 2. So Go Seiger, which was angel themed, and already slightly problematic for that reason. And then you've got Go Kaija, which was a pirate themed show.
Yeah.
And they decided to, hey, let's just smash these two things together.
That makes no sense. One is angels are meant to be good, and pirates are sort of bad. It doesn't really connect.
It's a little bit why we won't see that Cops versus Robbers Sentai adapted into Power Rangers. It's just way too problematic for a Western audience to really wrap their heads around, Who's the bad guy? Who's the good guy? I think it's because form-wise, the suits were so different. I had a source tell me that originally the idea was that they kept the Go Seiger suits and used it in both of the seasons and only really used like limited battle footage and sword footage from Go Kaija.
Oh, yeah.
Being that they left the special, which was actually a bridge between Go Seiger and Go Kaija, and the Japanese show was a bridge between those two.
Oh, so there was
there was like a basically a movie episode. If you haven't seen it, I have it. Go check it out.
Oh, nice.
I'll let you borrow it.
So it flowed with that sequence or that movie.
Well, they did basically like Go Seiger versus Go Kaija, the 199 movie, which was very good. So, of course, knowing a little bit about Super Sentai, when you get into the second season, you're kind of a little bit excited because there's going to be that special, obviously I'm going to touch on this, so this is not meant to offend anyone, this is not meant to upset anyone, but I am going to talk about JDF for a moment, if I can, and I'm just going to say with Super Megaforce that he did promote the heck out of that special. Like, he was everywhere talking about it, the fact that he was in it. He's going to be the Green Ranger. You're going to wait to see it. It's going to be awesome. He even did behind the scenes stuff for My Morphin Life. It looked like it was going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And if you kind of time it, he's there for less than 10 minutes of overall footage. And I've got the extended version.
Nice.
I have the extended version of it, and it is much better than what was originally televised, but it still feels way too short. It could have done with being at least an hour long to get everything in that they needed to. And there was probably enough Japanese footage that they could cut from to kind of drag it out a little bit more if they really wanted to.
They could have. They really could have.
Yeah, I mean, there was enough there. But that's all I'm going to say about that particular thing. It was good. It could have been great. And it felt a little flat for me personally. But what do you think?
I enjoyed it, but obviously there was something I looked over, which is a bunch of rangers who basically a bunch of teams were there next to each other when in reality they probably couldn't be.
You mean like a continuity issue? You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
like
think
3 Tommies, for example.
I think there's a simple explanation for that.
Yes.
Yeah, look,
there's a bad guy.
There's a bad guy. You don't quick. You're under attack. Run away. Yeah, I think that you could argue it whatever way you wanted to. If there was more time, you could have said, "Oh, we pulled rangers from different times and different,
Time Force.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could argue that. You could say, well, they created some weird sort of temporal paradox to allow multiple people to be multiple places at the same time. Or you can just argue that Tommy ran up a hill with his Master Morpher and just morphed a lot.
Really fit.
Really fit. And he just ran up the hill and he morphed into Turbo and he morphed into, Zeo.
Back into green
just to do the battle on the floor. So, he was everywhere, man. Everywhere. But look, I do love Tommy.
He's great.
And JDF will be missed. And it... Sorry, welling up a little bit. It is going to be sad to watch, the 30th, which we'll talk about in a different video.
And anything else.
Because without him, it's going to be a difficult thing to go back and watch some of the older things.
Because since 93, in reality, he is the face of Power
Rangers. Oh, he was Power Rangers, which is another reason why it was so important that he was in the 20th.
Yeah.
And respectively the 21st season, I suppose.
Yeah.
That he was part of that, and it is sad, and we're going to move on from that now before we get to
emotional.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the other elephant in the room. Oh, go on, you've got something. Oh.
Blue and green.
Blue and green. Ah, yeah, you reminded me, and I almost forgot about this. Right, okay. So, one of the elephants in the room I was going to bring up, an obvious one, is why is Mikey green? There's a simple explanation to that, Jake. So if I ever need to get out of any situation where I don't know the answer, I'm just going to say that, and I'm just going to stare them out until they leave.
There's a simple explanation for that.
There's a simple explanation for that, people. I'm just going to keep... Yeah, oh no, you're under attack, quick, run away. The reason, one of the main reasons that irks me isn't because it wasn't answered correctly. No. That's not even one of the things that irks me. What irks me is they had an out. They actually had an out for this. It just took a little bit of thinking about it and actually watching Ghost Ager. So in Ghost Ager, obviously there's only one C character, but that's not true. There was a Green Ranger that was also a C character, and there was footage in Ghost Ager of the two of them fighting each other. They could have used that footage as an excuse to say that there was a Green Ranger, he turned evil, and he destroyed the Black Key, or that the key was created originally for that Green Ranger, but a new power had to be created because he turned evil and the new power was black. So therefore, the key stands as being green because, reasons. I mean, that would have been something.
Simple.
A simple explanation. I mean, you wouldn't even have to use all that footage because you wouldn't have been able to anyway.
The death scene, probably.
Well, no, it's not really a death scene. It's just one of the characters, spoiler, falls off of the edge of a cliff in Ghost Ager, which is the Green Ranger.
I guess in the show they would have had to make it look like a death, but you can't really show too many deaths. No.
Well, you wouldn't be able to, in Power Rangers anyway.
But it's only happened once before, really.
Yeah.
Spoiler, sorry.
That's all right. I think the way we need to sort of look at it is that they could have cut that footage, or just of them battling and had 60 seconds.
Yeah.
It could have just been that kind of dream sequency thing that they used to do in
Power Rangers.
Yeah,
original.
and Zyuranger.
Yeah,
They would have that moment where it's slightly blurry and they're obviously talking about the past. So, when I was a human before I was in my time warp. That's the thing. But also, Gosei, oh my days, he was just terrible. He was a poor man's Zordon in every respect. There's a simple explanation for that. No, it was things like, you've unlocked a power that I completely forgot that you had because I've been napping. Like, it's just... like, Grandma needs a nap. I completely forgot that you have this Zord that now you've unlocked because of friendship or some other nonsense. Yeah, it was... You ate a ham sandwich and have unlocked Ultra Form. Yeah, it was just... It was just dumb in that respect. Why? Well, yeah, there seemed to be no real good explanation. When we got to season 2, though, things did ramp up a little, and Jason Smith, I believe I got his name right, who played Casey in Jungle Fury. Not only did he turn up, which was awesome because who doesn't love Casey, right?
Yeah.
He's definitely one of the best Red Rangers, in my honest opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that goes, I hate Casey. But if you do, then put it in the comments. Let me know why. I would be interested to know.
And has a really good accent. Puts on a really good accent.
He does.
Because I wouldn't have guessed.
No, because I didn't know he was in Home and Away. I didn't know he was Australian.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Home and Away is a questionable quality Australian soap.
And formerly Neighbours.
And formerly Neighbours. No, Neighbours is coming back.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
It is coming back.
But those
Amazon,
two shows.
Yeah, Amazon bought it. But we'll talk about that another time.
Those two shows, basically, in Australia, if you're of any of importance or whatever, you come from those two shows.
Oh, completely. I mean, Margot Robbie was in Neighbours, if I recall. Yeah. Anyway, just so we don't get too off track, Jason wrote some of the best episodes, in my opinion, of that season, and definitely should be brought back. I mean, they should create a petition for it. In fact, I think I might at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Bring back Jason Smith. He needs to write more episodes. But yeah, they were definitely some of the strongest that we had. I think, in my honest opinion. And I loved the cameos. We did also get whose name I cannot remember, who played the Red Ranger in Samurai. Alex, that's it. How could I forget his name was Alex?
I keep wanting to call him Jason or something.
You want to call everyone Jason?
Yeah, true. You're a Jason. You're a Jason.
You're a Jason. I just want to call everyone Alex or Dave. That's my thing. Like, everyone should be called Dave from now on. But yeah, no, Alex was the Red Ranger. That's his real name. And he rocked up in Ernie's. That was another thing I wanted to touch on.
That's my name.
Your name, Alex.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, not Ernie.
Nope.
No.
Ernie's Juice Bar.
Ernie's Juice Bar. Yeah. It was an interesting nod.
It was.
To the original series, but it would have been better if they explained that it was a franchise.
Yeah.
And that the original Ernie sort of owned it. Also, I think it would have been great to see Bulk and Skull, and we didn't see them, but we saw them in Samurai. How difficult would it have been to kind of get them to come back for an episode?
It wouldn't have been that difficult.
No, I think that's the problem with Super Megaforce and Megaforce, is that it felt like there was a lot of missed opportunity.
Yeah,
there was a lot of things that they could have done and they didn't do. And I think that, to be perfectly honest, it would have been absolutely fantastic to have seen them, or to get some more veteran Rangers back. But again, I understand that it was a budgetary thing and they've got to work within the parameters of what they were allowed to financially do.
But surely some of them would have been like, yeah, I'm coming back, don't care how much money it is, I want to be there.
Yeah,
I don't know if there are any like that. But...
Well, JDF said that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But he obviously changed his mind with something with the 30th, but we'll talk about that in a different video.
Yeah, of course.
And there were others that kind of said the same thing. Other Rangers, because don't know if you remember Jason Chan, who was the Green Ranger in Ninja Storm. I actually messaged him, just before the 20th came out, and he responded. So I was like, oh, I love him, he's awesome. On, I think it was either Instagram or Twitter. Back when I was on Twitter. I hate Twitter, I'm off Twitter now, I hate it.
Is he Australian or New Zealander?
No, he's actually, I think he's Singaporean, because he's over in Singapore now doing a soap opera over there, where he plays a doctor, I believe, from memory.
So Power Ranger, and now he's a doctor.
Well, both saving lives. I mean, why not, right?
True.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I messaged him asking him, because he was talking about his Megaforce card, that his character was on a card. So of course I commented and I said, any chance that you'll be back for the 20th? Would you come back if they asked you? Would you do a cameo? And he said, I feel a little bit too old to do that now. And I kind of responded with that. You're never too old. Once a ranger, always a ranger, right? And he liked that, so I thought that was kind of cool. He said that he would do maybe like a cameo, but he wouldn't necessarily come back and do an entire series. And I think that a lot of them, if they were approached, especially now, if they want to do like after the 30th, they do a 35. I think a lot more of them would say yes. I don't believe that it's a... that was part of the problem with Megaforce as well. Back then, it was a non-union show.
Yeah.
And now it's finally unionised, from what I understand. And someone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Which does open the doors a lot more for, people to come back and to want to. Which I think part of the problem with Super Megaforce was that the budget wasn't there. I mean, they did ask the guy who played the Titanium Ranger from Lightspeed Rescue, and he actually said yes. And then they backtracked on that and said no. I mean, who does that? Surely you've got your short list of who you want, and you budget for as many of them saying yes as possible. You don't budget for them all to say no. I mean, you're defeating yourself from the very beginning for doing that. But yeah. So there were some great moments in Super Megaforce. So it wasn't all dire. One of them was where the Rangers were sort of running around and just being silly and changing what they were wearing. I thought that was pretty funny and did make me giggle.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So there were some great episodes. There were some poor episodes as well. Also, second elephant in the room before I completely forget. Who are these Rangers? Where did they come from?
Dire Rangers!
Dire Ranger, yeah. And then they go, Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin. I'm like,
It's Morphin time!
I don't think you were Mighty Morphin apart from the white ones, so I don't quite know where you're getting that idea from.
How are we going to get our Zord? Oh, no, forget that one. What's over there?
Yeah, look away, kids, look away. These are Japanese exclusive Rangers. Yeah, Prism Power. I'm like, what? So I don't know if it was a budgetary thing or whether it was just the production crew didn't understand that they weren't Power Rangers.
I guess New Zealand didn't really have the show for a period of time, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. For those that don't know,
And it was also banned in parts of Europe as well from season 2 onwards, but sorry.
That's right. I didn't actually know that, so that's interesting.
Yeah, a guy I know from Sweden, he says from season 2 onwards, he didn't know anything about it because they banned it.
Wow.
So I'm guessing like
That's
New
crazy.
Zealand, they banned it.
Yeah, I mean, they banned it.
Too much violence.
I think halfway through season 1.
Oh, wow.
But bear in mind, like, season 1 had 60 plus episodes. So, they would have got to the Green Ranger at least.
That's true.
So for a lot of kids, they didn't see it. And it was only recently unbanned. Like, it had its ban lifted in 2012, I believe.
Jeez.
Yeah, please again correct me in the comments if you know that that's incorrect. But I'm pretty sure it was 2012 that it was allowed again. Part of that being that it was on Nickelodeon, and that's a cable channel.
Makes
So I think
sense.
that would have definitely helped. But also I think, because people will always say Power Rangers is a violent show. Well, yeah, come on, really?
Come on, there's no blood.
No.
It's not Super Sentai.
No. But yeah, if it was literally Super Sentai, we would see a lot more. One of the reasons Die Ranger couldn't actually be adapted was because there was a lot of punches to areas that should never be punched.
Yeah.
Or hit with sticks. Don't know what I'm talking about? Go and find Die Ranger and go watch it. You'll know what I'm on about. So a lot of that footage couldn't be used. I mean, there was also a limited amount of actual suit footage for Die Ranger. So it would have meant that being the fact that the episodes were, 10, 15 minutes long, there was 30 episodes. When you edit that down, you'd have got less than 12.
And half the villains looked like they were from, like Hellraiser or something.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that as opposed to what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to make it PG.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So with Megaforce, it's one of those seasons that, it's worth a watch. But generally the cheese factor is pretty high, which is higher than a normal Power Rangers show that could be pretty cheesy anyway.
I find it's a lot of fun. It's a fun, as long as you don't try and think too much. It's a fun sort of season.
Oh, basically,
in bits.
Yeah. So basically, switch your brain off. Do yourself a Gosei and just basically go. There's a simple explanation for anything that doesn't make any sense. and just watch it for the enjoyment factor. Anyway, I think that kind of wraps it up.
Sounds good. I think we've mentioned everything.
I think we have mentioned anything. If we have missed anything, or you've got any questions or anything you want to say, please leave something in the comments. But be nice. I've had some bizarre negative comments. I don't know if I ever mentioned. Someone said I was wet. Okay. I don't remember being even remotely underwater at any point in that video, but sure, thanks.
Weird, very weird.
People are odd, but hey, look, it will make our day if you at least say something. So let us know if you have any questions, you have any statements, anything you want to ask us. By all means, please do. And the other obvious thing as well, if you could subscribe so that we can beat the algorithm.
Yeah. Subs.
Subs! More subs! Anyway, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.